Welcome to Right in the Spotty Cootum. How you doing, lads? All right?
I'm very well,
I'm
young
good.
man.
Oh,
You're
mate,
the gaffer the day.
I can't believe I'm the host again.
What's your pal?
I told him last night, I said, listen, the Cootum show's off this week, just so I can be the host again, do you know what I mean? So I think he's in the house now fighting it's off, so when it comes out, lads, just to let you know, last week, you ready for this? 100,000 views.
Brilliant.
Was it?
Right in the Cootum show.
Again. Keeps getting
Brilliant.
bigger and better, doesn't it?
That's because of the money it's gone for. It's nothing to do with us.
As a host, I was going through and I was watching interviews. Do you remember the interview with Chick Young and Walter Smith?
Brilliant.
aye.
Brilliant.
Walter absolutely ripped Chick apart. Then Archie Knox come into the fray as well.
To this idiot.
Oh, I know. By the way, you wouldn't want to mess with the two.
Aye.
Archie Knox and Walter Smith. And Chick, his questioning was, what was it about Europe, wasn't it?
Aye.
He was questioning, what was it about the performance of some of the players and that? Obviously Walter wasn't enamoured and he went right through him. I'd tell you what, I'd like to see when the camera stopped.
Aye.
Do you think he was properly raging with him?
Aye.
Oh, aye. And I tell you what, and I've said it before many a time, he's a guy you didn't want to get in the wrong
Check
side.
we went to the World Cup and we were out, bombing out. And the nightclub before we flew out to one of the games and to practice and one of the warm-ups, and we flew out, we all went out, me and Charlie and all that, Charlie Nick and all that went out. And me, Mo, Judas, and he was there.
He has to get that in, didn't he?
And Chick was ways, so he's getting me into trouble. On camera he's going, it's a bit disgraceful that you know, going out in a nightclub, and I'm going, me? So you were with me? And just changed the whole he's getting me into trouble and he was ways.
Yeah, I tell you what, I love Uncle Chick.
He's a good lad. He's a good
brilliant.
Aye,
good boy.
See with Walter Smith, see when he was, as soon as his assistant, would you see he was maybe more scary on Souness at times?
Aye, I found him. He was the one I wouldn't want to cross the line. Aye.
But he was still the go-between, wasn't he? He was still the go-between, a good coach, but he was still the go-between. He was a great go-between.
And if there's any talking to be done, or clear the air stuff, you know, which is, we've been talking about that with Celtic, Souness would depart the scene, Walter would stay in there, you know, and if it get a bit
that's what Gary Max
if it get a bit physical, Walter wouldn't be, he wasn't the one that was going to shirk it, you know, so he would stay there right to the death, till everything was sorted out. Souness with Graham would depart the scene.
That's what I think.
Probably quite sensible.
That's what Gary Mack does with Stevie Gerrard. Stevie Gerrard will walk away, you know, and Gary McAllister will. He's a guy. I mean, you look at him and you go.
Gary's not a fighter, but he's
not in the dressing room. They go between players will go to him before they go to Stevie Gerrard.
Aye.
So that's what I mean. And sometimes you need that because you don't want to talk to the gaffer. Sometimes me, it didn't bother me because the gaffer's there to listen to you. You know what I mean? And if you've got a good rapport with him, you can talk to him. But if you've got a problem, you talk to the gaffer. But if you've got a wee niggling thing, you talk to him.
And I've always said about Souness, see, 1-to-1 with Souness, he was brilliant.
Aye, brilliant.
What I didn't enjoy at times was when he was in front of a crowd of people, a dressing room, he was a wee bit different, but I love sitting with Graham. I had quite a lot of 1-to-1s with Souness, and he was brilliant.
Great guy.
And in his office, he was magic, so he was.
Aye. Wow. Souness was brilliant. With me, I went to the World Cup and I shared the room with him, and he was a superstar, wasn't he?
Aye.
And I'm just coming through the ranks at West Ham, you know, and I'm not on decent money. You know what I mean? I was doing decent money, but I'm doing there. And we went to the World Cup, and him and Charlie Nick went into Rodeo Drive, and you walk in, you're just looking at the shots, put a sweat on me, right? Just looking at the windows. And we walked in, the two of them were like, buy the Louis Vuitton bag, like, thousands. And I'm going, I'm shit myself, I'm going, I need to buy something. I bought a wee wallet, it cost me about 400 quid.
Yeah, well, you're going into your after dinner stuff here, by the way.
No, it was brilliant.
No, but Souness
serious.
It was all the tan.
Some great lad.
Even smelled brilliant. He had this expensive after.
See when Walter was this, did you always know he was going to be the manager one day?
Walter? I didn't think he was always going. No, to be honest, no, because I thought he would have left with Graham.
Did you?
But you know, circumstances and Walter's side there, and it's probably the best thing. Oh, what I would say with Souness, his best ever signing. You talk about all these players that come into the club. Walter Smith was his best ever signing, in my opinion.
Spoke to that's when he spoke to him in the World Cup. That's where it all happened, because Souness told me he was going to take over Rangers, you know, and he says he hadn't done it yet, but that's when he spoke to Walter. Because Walter was with Fergie, wasn't he?
Honestly, that's absolutely fascinating stuff, that. Do you know that? I absolutely love that. Now, Frankie, I've been told I can't be doing the leaderboard today because they said I'm getting ahead of myself, so I need to pass it on. I don't want to give my leaderboard away.
They're absolutely confusing me this week because the writing is so small. But
how I
never
gave
mind,
it
here
to
we
you.
go. Right, the weekly winners. Celtic's draw with St Johnstone meant spoils were shared last week with 2 winners splitting the first prize of £5,750 each.
Wow,
That's
unbelievable.
brilliant, isn't it? Well done, guys. Congratulations to Lee Phillips 11 and J-Mac 247 for getting 9 out of 10. How can you take a draw for Celtic when the two of them took it?
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Well done.
But that draw for Celtic, I'd never.
And a big shout out
foresee that.
a big shout out to 44 runners up who walked away with a tidy £106.75, all for getting 8. So there's money to be made, boys. Get in there.
44 of them, Frank.
Yeah,
44
44
of
of
them.
them.
That's
44.
brilliant.
Make sure you download the Who Knows Wins app for a chance to win that type of money this week. Ping for the OG League is yes, sir.
I can boogie if I need a certain song.
Yes, sir.
I can boogie. Boogie,
You're under
boogie.
pressure, by the way.
Something I
know.
never says at school because I never went. Yes, sir.
Did you say, sorry Frank to interrupt you, because I hate people interrupt me. See, when you were back in school, my man Dallas tells, did you used to get the belt?
Okay. He used to get the cane. I'm a wee bit younger than him. I used to get to the PE department. It was the PE guys that used to give us a belt.
Aye.
So if you had a female teacher, then we would get sent to the PE.
Never, not in public anyway.
Sorry Frank.
Memories, innit?
I know, it's just, he's got it. Anyway.
You're saying, I'm into all that to use. So the games and that.
I'm into nothing like that.
Oh, you don't be a gentleman, no?
Fun and games, aye. Why not? You sure you know my son? Anyway.
I want to get my way. I always think, what age are you, Frank?
Aye, yeah. 60, 61.
I shouldn't have put my man's age.
I know.
Aye, I know.
I know. Anyway, let's get back to this. Monthly leaderboard. After week 1 of the December leaderboard, the table looks like this. I'm going to just do the top 6 because it's so small, this writing. Lee Phillips 11 with 9 points. J-Mac 247 with 9. Lee Stay, L33T, whatever I pronounce that one, with 8 points. Slaney's Dancing. There you go, son. 8 points.
I hope he wins him, by the way.
J-Doc 88, 8 points. And Levy 37, 8 points. And Craig 928 has got 8 points. So well done, guys. There's a couple more, but anyway, you know who you are. Make sure you keep playing for the rest of the month to have a chance of winning your choice of a football top.
And Frank, as you know, I will be delivering that football top with a Christmas dinner.
Brilliant. Can it beat that?
What a prize that is.
Social distancing,
To
of
be
course.
fair, depending on, I'll wait till I see what football choice they've ordered before I go. You know what I mean?
What happens if it's her that you had a date where it wins it? You send me?
Absolutely.
Right, okay. Well, my pundits, let's we go. Derek, 6 points you have got this last week.
That's not bad, mate.
You're in 336th place. Well done, son. I get 5 points. I'm on 1,522nd spot. Brilliant. But not as bad as Slaney, who's on 4 points. You get 4 points with 3,434.
Mate,
wow, there's only 4,332 people involved in that, but never mind.
But it's so difficult at the minute because of the COVID situation as well. You look at what happened last week with Dundee United.
It could be worse. Let's have a look at the foot of the table just so we can embarrass you. Nate B. Wow, hopeless. Dean 4, that's where number 4, and Pablo Diablo.
What a name.
Good name. OFG, Stewboy, Glancy, and AGH 99253. What a name that is. Anyway, keep going, boys. You can get there sometimes next year. Anyway, you can catch up with them. But you're so far behind that there's no chance. Anyway,
so Frankie,
well done.
Super.
Excellent pass, mate.
Right, Derek, on to the football, no messing about now. St Mirren and Killie. What's your thoughts on the top points?
Do you know, I feel for them a big time because everything that's happened with the investigation, I think both clubs have been really honest and upfront. Listen, it's something that we've not been in this situation, you know, so everybody's learning on the go. But for them being open and letting that and being honest with them and telling them exactly what's happened, I think they've done that because they want to make things better. They want to make it safer for everybody. But in a crazy old way, they've been punished with it. You know, not even just with the points. You know, they're not going to get the opportunity to play. But that £40,000 hanging over them, you know, it's terrible. It's horrendous. So
in today's world,
and I think those two clubs, you try to tell me that other clubs, some of the guys haven't been car sharing, haven't been socially distanced. Listen, it's so difficult. You know, you've been in football clubs, we've all been in that. So it is really difficult, and they're trying their best. And that's the thing, Macca, they're trying their best to do everything by the book. There will be mistakes. Everybody's making mistakes over the course of their life.
Staying in a bubble. Do you know what I mean? They're not coming out at all.
See, I didn't get. I don't get. I think they're just making the rules up because I think the Aberdeen boys. That was for me. That was just ridiculous. You know, they all train. They can go and train during the day, but they can't sit in a pub.
Macca, see,
I'm going, what? They're in a bubble anyway.
You know, see, on the Aberdeen one, the boys actually thought they weren't doing
it because they're on the bubble.
Because they were in the bubble and they kept themselves.
So there's rules that there's different interpretations.
The issue I had with it was that they'd just been beat with Rangers, so they shouldn't have gone out anyway. But they did.
Sometimes it's good to go and talk.
So they made a mistake.
Sometimes it's good to talk, as they say.
So mistakes and the punishment.
£40,000 fine.
Hanging over them, which
terrible.
Is severe.
In this day and age when they're losing so much money.
See these clubs now, though, obviously we've had COVID for over 6 months now. They've lost so much money, these clubs. Do you know what I mean? And then now they're saying 45. These clubs won't be able to survive that.
And if something
Who is that that's fined them? Is it the
SPFL?
Is it the SPFL? Haven't got a clue.
These people need to knock their heads together and wake up. Do you know what I mean? Really need to wake up now, and I'm getting absolutely sick of them because the whole world's going through this.
It's as if they're not the same situation.
I know people who have got COVID, who have done everything absolutely right. Do you know what I mean? Everything right, they've still got it. This is the whole world. So you can't just be saying because they get it now, we're going to punish them. I think there's got to be, at the start of the season, I did say, Frank, teams that get players due to their own fault should get punished. When Ball and Goalie went away, I tried to change my opinion on that. So Celtic didn't get punished, rightly so. So now the way it's gone, speaking to Andy and stuff, the players are doing everything. Either and it's how even for us, it's so hard.
The testing that's going on.
The testing's going on. I mean, the virus is so bad.
There will be.
You've got to get tested to know you've got it. I mean, the boys are not. They're just, it's one of them, they don't see it. Footballers, people forget, I know they're getting money and all that, they're decent money, but they're only boys. You know, people do things wrong. And you've got to have a wee bit. These people at the SPFL, they live in their own world. They're not, you know, to find a club that, they're supposed to be looking after the clubs, have the club's best interests at heart, and they're finding things.
And I'll say it again, Master.
With the COVID,
I'll say it again. Other clubs, if they were open and honest, they would probably admit to those mistakes as well. But it's two of them that are getting punished, which I just seems a wee bit unfair.
The only ones
that 40 grand hanging over them is terrible.
The boys, the Hamilton got a few points, so they.
Brilliant for you to do that because we're actually just going to move on to Hamilton. This, a win v Killie, and then this. It's going to give them a boost, isn't it?
Massive, because we're sitting rock
bottom.
Played
well too.
Now they've moved up a few places. I was at the game, I watched them against Kilmarnock. Kilmarnock, Dickamona, I mean, 250 challenge, go down to 10 men. Kilmarnock played pretty well.
Did they?
But they've got but Hamilton do this. You know, they can be up against it, but somehow they can get a result for somewhere. So, from a Hamilton point of view, it's been a brilliant week because it's not the way they wanted to get those 3 points because of the COVID situation, but they've got them, you take it, and then follow that up with a win against Kilmarnock and get off the bottom of the league. Because as a player, you keep looking, you look at the paper, look at the league table, it has an effect on you, so they've jumped a couple of places, so do you
think this will have a longer effect for sort of St Mirren and stuff like that, with this, do you think?
I think they've got to put it there. I think the players, no for the players, for the management, for the hierarchy at St Mirren maybe, but the players will know. I don't think they'll get worried about that. Well, as long as they're getting paid, they'll think it's wrong. They think they're wrong done. Might be a wee. Let's group mentality, get together and, you know, we're against everybody. It might do them the world of good. But I don't think the players worry about things like that. I think they just got on with it.
I think of St Mirren, from a St Mirren point of view, their performances of late have been excellent.
Aye.
So they have, certainly against Aberdeen. I mean, they've deserved to win both those games. I think they're unbeaten, but it's the last 8 games.
Aye.
So the players will take confidence for that. And Jim Goodwin, I think he's doing a good job. And it's strange that having played so well over the last few weeks that they're still bottom of the table.
Aye.
So do you think they'll be all right?
I think they will. I think they've got some really good young players in the middle of the park. They've got a wee bit of firepower up top, the boy Abika. Don't know if you're going to ask me about another situation that happened there, but that's quite solid at the back as well. So no, I quite like the look of St Mirren, and I think they'll get themselves out of that situation.
Who do you think will get in?
I says at the start of the season, no, and everybody takes it. I thought Hamilton might struggle. I really do. I just think I look at them defensively, and I looked at their style of play a number of weeks ago. Ricey, I like Brian Rice. I like the way he wants to play the game in terms of play football. But Hamilton will go to get back to fighting, biting, and scratching for everything. But I just think they might fall a bit short this season. I hope no, because I'm a Hamilton boy. I mean, and I've got a soft spot.
They're doing so much for the community.
They're brilliant in the community.
I was there hanging that they're doing a panto, virtual panto and all that, just for
Hamilton,
people, aye, for kids. You know, it's brilliant. You know, it's great. No, they're not.
Well, just to say, I don't know if you caught the podcast, but I will be making a return to the SPFL, the top league. Is that what it's called?
Aye.
Right.
Wasn't sure it was SPL there.
Oh, you're making a return?
Absolutely. Listen, I ain't going back to any lower division. I've told Simon that. You play with Peter, he respects you for your decision, you do it for your family. Totally get it. I ain't doing it for my family. I ain't going to do that level.
No.
I'm going to step into the big league. I need a club now because I would go there in a second.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? I would go there in a second, rival with Motherwell, stir it up. The media coverage with me going is massive for these clubs. Now you look at the two clubs that have just been punished, 40,000 fine, they'll make that back with a day when I go in. Do you know what I mean?
The biggest problem you've got, you can't make a debut and take a year off.
No, that's the only issue. And I probably will do that. But I'm going to go back on it because I'm the host today and I'm going to go back on more serious things.
Is this for a financial point of view? Is it just a love of football that you've got back?
It ain't no love of football. It's an attention. It's certainly an attention thing. You know what I mean? I want more attention than I already get. I want to be, I believe I'm the biggest name in the game in Scotland, but I think it's important when you do as much talking. Big mouth. I mean, a bad mouth. People
wrong with that in the football park.
But I think it's now time for me to go and do it on the pitch as well.
Now, I've known you for the last couple of years. I just see a newfound confidence in you.
I know. It's unbelievable. I get knocked and I've come back again. And I tell you, this time I won't go for it.
Everyone likes a comeback story.
Do you know what I mean?
Everybody likes a comeback.
The underdog. The horny dog coming back.
Anyone wants a good player, there he is.
So here we go, guys. I'm going to get back onto the football.
Yeah.
Derek, we were talking about on the podcast, and everybody's talking about James Tavernier. Where do you rate him amongst, right, but let's say Britain, where do you rate his form he's been in? It's been unbelievable.
First and foremost, he's in a team that, listen, his stats are phenomenal, but he's in a team at the minute that allows him to play a certain role in the opposition half. I mean, many times you see a right back, waiting in the box, waiting in a post, playing like a centre forward. So, but what I see in Tavernier this season is he's driven. You can see it. He's a different guy from what he was last season. He's taking on more responsibility. He looks a better athlete. Everything all round. Plus, he's at age. I think he's about 28, 29.
Yeah.
I think he's at peak his career. Normally, football players come to that. They peak about that age. But everything about him at the minute is absolutely top drawer. And if you put him in an attacking side with a lot of flair, he would flourish. If you put him in a side that maybe under the cosh for a lot of the time, he might struggle a wee bit, because I think there's still things defensively he can do better. But offensively, going forward, there's nobody better. And you say the whole of Britain, I don't see anybody better in that position going forward. Is
that the worry now for Rangers for the window coming up?
No,
these numbers that he's getting.
He's happy where he is. He's not going to. Why would you want to go somewhere that he might? I mean, as Derek says, he's not the best defender in the world, so he's need to be in a team that's going to soak up and go forward. So I think he's in a bit. He'll not get a bigger club than Rangers. I don't, you know what I mean.
See if it's,
and I think the no crowd in the stadiums has helped Tavernier, because he was. Listen, let's be honest. I heard that, you hear it on TV when they're shouting. They were giving him a bit of abuse because he's not the best defender. Obviously, Rangers weren't at the peak they're at now. So they were under the cosh a wee bit, and he was getting found out. But now they're well drilled, and he's going forward. They've worked, and no having a crowd in has done his confidence. So when the crowd come back in, he'll be full of confidence, and they'll see a different player. I think.
What I would say, and I should have mentioned it there. See, if there was a crowd in, I think he would handle it, because it was mentally he's in a better place.
But he's at time.
I think the relationship he's got with Gerrard and all, and he's picked up on Gerrard, you know, some of the stuff that he had as a player. And he's
but do you know what I mean by that? Because he was getting a bit stick, because he wasn't. Rangers were under the cosh, knew that there's no crowd, he's going forward, his confidence is through the roof. So when the crowd come back in, he'll be full of confidence,
I think that
he could get golden boot with all the penalties they're getting.
Listen, this is.
Here you go.
Yeah, we call it that. This is the, we make 2 points here. First point, James Tavernier and Ryan Kent. You'd be silly not to leave in January. I believe.
I think so. Right. You can get two of them in a good deal.
Ryan, I would say Ryan Kent, Tavernier.
Aye.
Going into the Premier League, and do you mean really go? You've done your stuff there.
I certainly think Kent.
No, I don't think anybody will be leaving Rangers in January.
I think Steven Gerrard
at that level. Tavernier, Kent, absolutely. Leeds were
Andy said that a great team, so I kind of see Kent or Tavernier, the new going to maybe like a top, but see like a Leeds.
As a player, I'll ask you, right, and what did you win as a player? You won
trophies, league, and
right. So
nine
they're
leagues.
on the cusp of that. They can almost taste it. They want that. And see, when you finish your career, I didn't really think about it too much as a player. But once you finish, and sometimes you're sitting there, you're maybe reminiscing. You look back, and you go. I mean, I had most of my success, obviously, when I was at Rangers, early doors. You know, when I left Rangers, I never won anything. There I did.
That must be.
So, and I took that for granted. And see, when I look back and I go, I wish I'd have cherished it more. I wish I'd have kind of soaked it in more. Now, these guys have got the opportunity, if they keep going the way they're going, to go and win something. And then they can look back when you're an old guy like myself and go, by the way, see, I was at a great club and won some stuff.
Unbelievable, mate. See, on the Ross County game, now, you can sit.
They've done everything right.
You can all week. You can sit and set up everybody behind the ball, right? Or you can say we're going to go for it, right? So I would say you need to sit in, and when you get the ball, hit the counter attack. I think Vidal for him, you've got to try that, right? How are you meant to set up when Rangers' right back is in the 6-yard box? I don't know how you're meant to defend against that. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, I know. I don't. It's Rangers.
What are you meant to do with that?
Well, the first thing you've got to do is when you get the ball, when Ross County get the ball, they've got to keep it. And they're not keeping that, you know. So, and if Tavernier's up there, put it in space. I mean, it's no Einstein. You don't have to be, but they're not doing it. The biggest thing is keeping the ball in. Rangers, listen, you've got to give credit when it's due. They're fighting, and they're getting the ball back. You know, that's the biggest thing I've noticed about it. When they lose the ball, they're getting it back, and that's something that Stevie Gerrard's installed in them. I've not seen that for years with a Rangers team. You know, Celtic used to do that. When they lose the ball, they get it back. Now they're all. Do you know what I mean? And it's. Just get back to the it's the basics, innit? Yeah. Win the ball and get it back.
Mark, I talk about Ryan Kent then. Ryan Kent, you know, you talk about getting the ball back. He's a flair player. He's a kind of winger. He plays two positions. Plays either wide or he comes in. So he's playing. So you've got a player that's playing two positions. But what you've just touched on there, when Rangers have not got the ball, his hunger and his desire to go and hunt it and get it back is phenomenal. And that takes some fitness. So it does.
I was saying that.
And they're all like that at the minute.
I was saying that a couple of weeks ago, when I was talking about Celtic, I'm saying the best teams in the world, when they lose the ball, they all fight to get it back.
I think Liverpool,
you know, they don't superstars. They don't become superstars because they're still on a boot when they lose the ball. They get it back. And you know, you see Messi, even in training, some of the clubs you see Messi in training. My God, he just fights and chases it and harries and
maybe brilliant. The only thing I would say on Tavernier is, if there is Premier League teams watching, maybe stop getting into the box because they might think you're right back, you're not positionally good enough. So I would just keep yourself away from the box.
I would say come and get him now.
No, listen.
No, it's all right.
It's phenomenal.
He's doing brilliant.
See, to be fair.
By the way, he looks after dogs. He's got a dog thing, hasn't he? He looks after.
I didn't know that.
He breeds dogs, so I'm pretty happy with that.
See, to be fair, watching Rangers in the first goal is straight off his training ground, and Tavernier running round him.
Aye.
That's what we
Morelos
would
brought
put
him
on cross and finishing drill.
exactly the training ground, and then you look at obviously his Celtic. I almost
Couldn't
feel
do it.
they've lost
Couldn't
their
do it.
confidence, but it looks like they've lost their identity. It looks like they've lost their style of play completely, and that does come for every day in training. And I don't know how it's lost, because last season, after the Christmas, they almost got that identity with the 3-5-2. They were more direct, but it looks this season that, I mean, it's as if they're waiting for like an Edward to beat 3 players and score.
See, I don't get it, because when you've got Chris Stewart wide and Elyounoussi, the fullback should be gone, because it's ideal for Frimpong certain games. Now, when Chris is coming in off the line, Frimpong should be going down, but he doesn't do it now. You know, and he's caught in between, because he's not the greatest, the same as Tavernier, he's not the greatest defender. But going forward, he was different class, but that energy he had. And against, Ross County, I thought he was tailor-made to do it. But the manager played a different system. But I just think they don't see that now. Getting down, crossing the ball to the striker. And you see what happened with the third goal, wasn't it? The own goal, was it a third goal? Tavernier's crossed it and the boy put it in his own net.
Big Morris put it in.
You don't get the goals unless you can fire it into the box.
Do you see Dundee United having an effect against Rangers at the weekend?
Oh, no.
No, let's.
Where is it?
It's Sunday.
Tannadice,
It's Sunday, 12 o'clock.
Tannadice, that's a hard game.
The last time Dundee United went up against Rangers, Dundee United, they surprised me. They were quite open. So they were. They had a go at Rangers. And I just think if you have a go at Rangers, you're only going to come up second best. See, going back to the Celtic thing you're touching on and everything that's going on, and you're talking about Edward, I think, and he's been kind of off it a wee bit. Listen, and fingers have been pointed at a lot of players. I think there's one player's getting away with absolute murder at the minute, the boy Griffiths.
Aye.
I think we're 2 weeks away from getting into 2021. Where's he been? If it's fitness, what's it now? In my opinion, what's the easiest thing now? What has he got as a centre forward? He had a great knack, a great ability, right? That you can't work on that. You've either got it or you've not, right? Has Griffiths get that? Aye.
Yeah.
Fitness in my opinion,
don't
it's the
get it.
easiest thing to get. Just go away yourself, work hard.
You don't have to do it yourself, but he's got a fitness. They've got these.
That's what I'm do it for yourself.
Coaches. I know, they've got these coaches. If you keep saying he's no fit, then sack the coaches, because the fitness coaches, if they're not doing that,
it's up to him.
Just take it. Let's see, Lenny, we were talking about it. I was talking to Mark Wilson. He says last time he was there, Lenny used to say, right, man, if you didn't do it, he used to take him for a run.
Yeah.
So why are they not doing that now?
Aye.
Why is he not doing that? But is it because he's not got his own people running about him? Do you know what I mean? Because John Kennedy's off coaching, John's off coaching and all that.
Yeah,
I know it's doing to yourself, but listen,
you
boys,
can eat yourself. If you're doing training with the rest of the boys, then you need to be a bit sharper. You go away and you work on it. Everybody did. All the good players I played with, what they used to do. See me finish training when going back to when I was at Rangers. See what all the Goffs, the Ray Wilkins, the Trevor France, the Trevor Stevens, they'd go away themselves and they would do stuff that they know keeps them sharp and bang on it in the fitness side of it. So that's down to yourself.
Seen that, mate. See when you with that team you mentioned with Rangers. See if a player was maybe slacking, was unfit, would you get a hold of him?
Oh God, aye.
There would be words. You would have a wee no pulling them aside. You'd maybe have a go at them in training and all that, you know, and just taking a G them up a wee bit. But players know themselves.
Lee Joe Miller done a story in the paper that day, and it says that when we played, there was 10 players on the pitch plus a goalkeeper who would. If I never held the ball, Slaney, I swear, if I never got a hold of it, never kept it, dogs would be size to take. Roy, Big Mick McCarthy, boys like that, and even Paul Granty was Peter the Point, was shouting and bawling. I had to hold it, I had to take a free kick, I had to get fouled, and get us up the park. That was sometimes you need. Even good teams have to get the pressure off you, and that's what a centre forward is today. It's not just about scoring goals.
Do you think, Frank, the situation at Celtic now is sorry, I can't say that word. My God,
unrealistic,
unrecoverable? No.
Listen. They've still got 3 games against Rangers. They've got 2 games in hand, which makes it, down to 6 points? What would it be? 7? I don't know. 7 points or something like that, if they win their games in hand. At the moment, they don't look as if they're going to win any game. So that's got to change. I don't know how Celtics went from so good to so bad in a space of a short period of time. And I just, I said it before, Celtic have not had a challenge for 9 years. They had a challenge last year, but they fell away. But this is the first time, and with the crowd not being there, the crowd would have given them it, so the crowd would have let the boys know that they weren't doing it. And maybe that's got a wee thing to do with it, but I'm not making excuses. The boys should do it themselves on the park. If something's going wrong, and it's not doing it to the manager to shout and bawling you. You keep coming on and saying, we're doing it for the manager. Do it for the fans that's watching, suffering watching it on the TV. Many people's hiding behind couches watching Celtic games now. That's not right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not right. So they're better than that. And I might have a go at Celtic players, but they boys set the standards.
Yeah.
They've set the bar so high. Like if they come down, so what I'm having a go at them, and other players, ex-players are having a go at them, but it's because they've set the bar so high. They can't drop these standards. And if you want to move, you've got to play. You can't sulk, because managers will say, okay, he's down tools, so he can down tools than me, so I don't want him.
So I think that might be the difference with Rangers. You're talking about Celtic. If they want to move, they need to play, they need to meet standards.
Well,
I think Rangers are meeting standards, but I don't think they want away. I think they want to be part of this. They can see the bigger picture. So the momentum's with Rangers. As I say, is it done and dusted? Far from it.
No.
You've heard me say it off camera. I think we've still got a bit to go. But at the minute, the momentum and the confidence, everything's going Rangers' way. So they've just got to keep that focus.
I don't think you
keep at it.
Not any Rangers fan will say that the league's done now.
No,
I'm saying
far from
over. But in the situation now with Celtic, how does it change? Look,
it can change with one result.
I think so.
It can change with one result, easy, and then just something. If football's like that, it's like a centre forward. I'll go back. I'll use like Maka again. Sometimes you go and you don't hit the back of the net for like 10 games, and then all of a sudden it comes off your hin end, and then bang, you're on a run. You're hitting the back of the net.
I think you do it. You create your own, because you just put the hard work. When I was in Scone for a couple of games, it didn't stop me working. So I still done the dirty work, if you like, the graft. Go and chase somebody. Make it hard for defenders, all the things, knock goalkeepers into the net and all that. I like doing all that, but it's one of them, you just do the hard guy. A lot of people don't want to do the dirty side of it, and I think that's the basics. If you do that, then your own game will come through.
I even think though, right, see, even when Celtic were winning at the start of the season, it was a struggle. So
performance levels have been poor.
Even when they're winning, so
we're in December.
I remember when we were doing whatever we were doing and speaking to people, they were saying like, you can't keep performing like that. Like, I remember St John's, I think Griffiths came on and scored in the last minute to win the game. You can't keep hoping that you're going to get a goal, a chance in the last minute, because it will stop. And that's what's happening. And they did have, for Celtic, they had a run. So maybe you look at the fixtures, it was no the easiest fixtures on paper, right? Celtic should be winning much more than they've won. But the last two games at home, for Ross County and St Johnstone, if you can't beat them, and that's no disrespect to the clubs, if you can't beat them, right, that doesn't fill me with confidence.
The biggest problem I've got is nobody's scared of Celtic now. Go to Celtic Park, nobody's scared of them.
That's mad.
It's terrible. It's never, even in the 90s when we had a bad team, people were a bit wary going to Parkhead. You know what I mean? But this one, nobody let them have it, because they're not going to do it. Because they're trying to play everything through the middle. They've not got any change. They don't want to get down the wing, get it in the box. They don't want to do that and put it in the mix, as you call it.
The blueprint
sometimes you've got to do that.
That teams will go and they'll sit in and try and soak up a wee bit of pressure for 20, 25 minutes, half hour, and then start to try and hit them on the break.
When you're playing everything through there. You just got back four. They've got back four.
Ryan, don't you get too done about it? I can see it in you.
Ryan,
you're overthinking that.
That's very that wee shell, and I can send me back a few weeks again. But what I'm going to say is about, I look at Celtic down the line, Jimmy Johnson, you look at Maloney, McGeady, Forrest Lane, you've got all the wingers. Wingers, it was Celtic famous for that. Now you've not got any wing at all.
They're not getting any pace. Listen, they're talking Mickey Johnson come back. Well, Mickey's a good player, but he's no. You think that's no what's going to change everything at Celtic? It's good to get him back because he's got pace.
Yeah.
But it's just, I look at it and I go, you've got to just do something else. Get the ball down. I don't see it. Ryan's not a winger. Ryan Christie's not a winger. but he's playing out there because Forrest is not there, and you don't realise how much you miss him. But he's out there, he comes in, Elyounoussi comes in, so there's that space, so they just sit in the defence. And
I think now, for Neil Lennon, for the Celtic team, this is the biggest challenge they've all had in their careers.
I think so.
They knew Neil Lennon's the manager. The board have backed Neil Lennon. Now, I obviously said last week that I'd have liked to see a change because I think that's what was needed when you're seeing the performances. That's not the case now. Neil Lennon's been backed, so it's now time for that team to stop whinging if they didn't get moves. Or I don't like the way Neil Lennon goes about it. They now need to get a grip, sort it out.
Aye. Go on, son.
I think the biggest challenge they've got
is
that players don't want to meet that challenge.
The biggest.
They want.
I think that's a great point.
I think you've got for you Celtic through and through. Obviously, love the club. You can see it. It comes out your pores, right? You've not got that. You've not got players there that feel the same way. They don't care. They just look at where am I going to be playing next season.
Yeah,
that's the biggest challenge
for me. The biggest up for me is listen. If Rangers are going to win the league, fine. Don't gear them it.
Yeah.
Right, Celtic are gearing them at the moment. They're not playing. They'll regret it for the rest of their lives if they don't do anything this season. If they don't get the finger out and play to the capabilities they are. And if Rangers win it, so be it. But at least give them a fight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And look at it this way. I'd look at it this way. You gave them 13 points at the start. See if you can win the league. What a result that would be. That's a motivation. Listen, I just give Rangers a fight. Don't just give them it. That's what at the moment.
But that's my point. I think there's only so many players in that squad that think like that. The rest, I don't think they're too bothered what happens because they'll think I'll be playing my foot with somewhere else next year.
You scored 2 goals v AC Milan in the first 10 minutes. You have other chances to do it, but v St Johnstone, Ross County, you're struggling to create chances. It's a wee something rings in my head there. Oh, it's Europe. My eyes are watching me. I'm going to perform. So get a grip of yourself.
Go on, son. Tell them.
I ain't sitting back anymore because I'll tell you one thing, if Neil Lennon's sitting in a shaky peg now,
I can see in the dressing room.
And I'll tell you now, feel sorry for yourself. I don't think he is a man that does feel sorry for you, but if he allows anything to keep into his head that does feel sorry for himself, end it now. Because it ain't over. Let's move on to Hibs. We'll move on to Hibs. And emphatic win for Hibs v my old club. He went the disrespect he showed me, Hibs, going on to my surface v Motherwell and just laid it out there. Just embraced herself on that surface. That's
what a surface it is.
Beautiful. What a job I've done, to be fair. I've got that. I've got it so slick. I really have. Derek.
We're going to talk about something at the end. This is brilliant. Only you can answer this.
Motherwell, disappointing for Hibs. Win it.
It
was a big game.
Certainly was for Motherwell. Hibs are flying at the minute. You know, they've got pace and then the front line. Nisbet up top, Boyle as well. You know, he's been on fire. But I certainly expected with the boys coming back into the fray. You know, they've got Scotland internationals. You've got Gallagher at the back. So I think the man Stevie Robinson will be disappointed with them. But Hibs are in a good place at the minute.
Yeah.
You know, and they can sniff that third spot. You know, Aberdeen are not performing as well as they should be. They know that, so it's a great opportunity for them to try and nail that third.
I think he's a good coach, Jack
Good,
Ross.
he deals with everybody.
He's done well. And I like
the
him when
media.
he's at St Mirren, and he's a good lad. You go and have a cup of tea with him. You know, he's a good boy. You know, he's an old school. He knows everybody and all that. And it's nice to see that.
Respectful. He's respectful to everybody.
I think he'll go really far. Yeah.
Do you?
I do, honestly.
Wow.
Well, it says one day he wants to be the Scotland manager.
Did he?
You know,
when he's about 82. Stevie's in there. He's not going anywhere.
Still, he's managing a club like Sunderland. You know, Sunderland's a huge.
It's a sinking.
It is a sinking ship, but it's a huge
club.
You know,
huge.
Under a lot of pressure.
To get it right,
expectations, and he's. Listen, if you look at what he done down there, he had a lot of draws. He didn't win enough games, obviously, which cost him his job. But I thought he did an all right job. I thought he should have been allowed a bit longer. But I think what Hibs have got, you're saying, what we're saying, they've got a good manager.
A good manager, but it's a bit. Sunderland was a bit like West Ham. He turned up on a Monday morning. There's new players in. He's going.
I know.
You can't do that. You can't do
the boy Will Griggs they're talking about, and Jack Ross was like, I wouldn't pay that money for him, and the boy goes and does it.
I know.
Come on,
crazy. It was a good song. He went to get the crowd going.
Remember that, out the pitch? Goodness.
But Motherwell have been handed that boost as well, you know, with the getting the points, you know, jumping up. I'd have thought that would have kicked them on, but...
I'm actually surprised with Motherwell this season because they have got good players.
Aye.
And I think they should be doing better than what they're doing. Do you agree with it, no?
Aye, I've said that I quite like Motherwell because they've got pace on their side. Up the top end, they're solid in the middle of the park, and they're normally quite sound defensively. So again, they just need to tweak one or two things, and if they get on a wee run, you know, you could see them doing that, going like 4 or 5 wins on the bounce.
What was your favourite ever game you played in?
My favourite ever game that I played in. My first,
you as well.
My first final, League Cup final for Rangers.
Was it?
Aye.
Was the family all there?
Aye, my man, my dad were there. Aye, and that was So obviously you win it, you know, and it's I can't remember the game that much, but I can remember the celebrations.
You can't remember the game.
Nah, too many bangs in the head.
I know. So you can't remember the game that I get sent off. You were going, what game I didn't play? He's playing.
Right, what was your favourite game ever?
A few games. The cup final, obviously special, but first could be, you know, Celtic's about the first game. You look forward to the first game against Rangers. Didn't go too well for me. I only lasted 14 minutes. But the second one for the start of Centenary.
Did you just play against each other?
Aye, I was up playing that day. Aye.
Did you ever argue?
No, I was up front and we used to have a laugh.
I was too busy.
Who did you used to have a tussle with in Celtic?
Granny
was a man.
Was McStay unbelievable?
McStay was top
draw. He could tackle as well.
I mean, everybody asked me who's the best player I played against.
Good, wasn't he?
And the best player I did was Gascoigne.
Aye.
You know, when I played against Gascoigne, I was 18. He was phenomenal. But Paul McStay was a close second. Paul McStay was because Paul could run the show. He could do everything.
That was Scottish.
He's a playmaker. He could score goals. He could tackle. He ticked all the boxes. Paul McStay was a top player.
Wow.
He was there.
And I worked for Paul.
He was there.
We worked together.
He was there. That was the day. That was the day. See, we were talking about midfield players like Paul McStay and that. Durante as well. What a player he was.
Oh, what an athlete he was and all.
What a player he was. I mean, you look at him and you go, really? And you go, he was up there. Durante, if he never get injured, he'd have been up there. He'd have been up there with the best. Definitely.
Terrible.
See Durante.
Where are they players now?
I know. See with him. Who are they like in the modern day game?
Well, get back to Durante's day.
I mean, selfish. I just love picking your brains.
No, because there was a player that played with the guys will know this. A guy that played with Liverpool, a guy called Terry McDermott, who was a brilliant player, but he was box to box, and that was Durante. But Durante again, like a McStay, he could play, could beat players, but it was his engine. Durante's engine was phenomenal, and for being, he was quite slight when he was younger. No, he's put on a few pounds now, but he got wired in. So he did Durante. So Durante was some athlete, and the thing it used to do man nothing when we did have a wee night out next day at training didn't affect him. No, I used to hate it next day at training, man. I'd be struggling. No, be Durante, he was just flying.
Do you know, I used to struggle as well, but then what you do is just stay up.
Aye,
just don't.
Morris Johnson used to do that as well. Didn't go to bed, just straight to training.
Makes you worse.
That's amazing, all that.
Aye, crazy.
Right, lads, sorry.
6
I just want, see, because this is the last time I'm ever going to host. So
I'm going to change my game because, see, like, a bit like my career, and I'm saying just at a League Cup final, it was probably the game that I remember, and I know you guys, side the fence shoes are on, any time we beat Celtic, to be honest with you. Because, I know, look at your...
No.
Because what came with it, because it was a celebration after it, and in those days, we had a right good old time. So I loved it.
The biggest thing was we used to kick the crap at each other in the park. And if we see each other, have a beer and that after.
See what's going on with...
you do that, you give dogs abuse, you know. Because you try to tell you a joke in the corner, so you're watching them when the bus coming here.
Or so because you used to do to me, I used to see him talking to the centre back. And as he's talking to the centre back, he's pointing where he wants the ball played. So you just roll him it. So as you're going up with take the free kick, I would sometimes, if it was me, I would be looking at Coyce all the time. And just as I'm going down, he'd be going like at the centre half. How you doing, big man? Where are you going to the night? And he's pointing, he's going, I want the ball there. He's going like that. And he just play it. And that just gives him that wee yard in the bin. Clever. What Coyle used to do
in front of him and do that. How are you doing that? Getting all that?
See when I played with Dunfermline, Coyle used to do that as well. They're clever guys. They're not just good players. They're clever. That's how you just get that wee extra.
That's what Coyle says, wasn't it? Somebody says he wasn't the quickest in the ball. He says all I had to do was beat him over a yard.
Aye.
That's all you had to do, beat defenders over the yards. It makes a lot of sense.
Wow.
But anyway, let's go.
Aye.
Come on,
Sorry.
let's get this done.
Sorry, I've just totally been into a
Good night,
different
night
world.
shift.
Do you know
Good
what's
night,
the
night
last
shift.
time I'm ever going to be a host?
No, it's no.
Simon's back next week, and I love
I
being,
ain't got- I ain't
I love
got
being a
my
free
free money.
spirit out there, or a free spirit where I can walk off the show anytime I want. Obviously, I need to be relied. I need to be
Are you
relied on
picking
today.
teams this week, or are you?
I'll be
Because
picking-
you're the host.
You're inside, anyway.
Unbelievable.
Because you're the host.
Send it to me if it's a man.
I like that.
They all send me
That's
stuff.
not for Slaters, isn't it?
By the way,
No.
Brilliant. Brilliant, Jake. I've got
Sorry, guys. Derek, going to the Dons. Lewis,
that-
2 yellows and a red at the weekend.
Well, you tell me.
Did you find him?
What did you? I mean, come on.
But see what I don't see-
see that. See even.
Locked up.
See when I spoke to Lewis after the game, because I was working with open all nights with the BBC, right? And
You like
the
getting that in,
guys,
don't you?
the guys were even laughing, right? Michael Stewart commented on it. He says it wasn't even a foul. Now I had to see it for myself, and see when I watched it, I went, wow. I mean, I know referees have got a hard job, but Bobby Madden. Come on, I know he's size pal, I know he's your pal.
No, my pal.
Well, come on, what's he thinking? It's not even a foul, it's just wave. And normally he, in the past, has been really good at that, you know, just like, he likes the physical side, but how he can produce a yellow card. I mean, there's...
Was that the second one?
I don't want, well, you've asked it, I'm going to answer it.
Of course.
Because see, that's him, he's missed 3 games with the Scotland 21s because of the COVID situation, no fault of his own, and then he's picked up a yellow, and you can't challenge that with the rules. The rules are absolutely
How
crazy.
can you know, what is the rule?
You can challenge a straight red, but you can't challenge 2
2
yellows.
yellows, so
It's
he's
embarrassing,
going to be
anyway.
sitting in his backside again
to change
come
the rules for
Saturday.
that one.
Aye, but you know, it's never, it's not even close to being a yellow
I know, but
card.
the referees make mistakes.
Actually,
so
see the next morning when I watched it, and I watched it a couple of times, but the first time I looked at it, I went, that's not even a foul. The 2 guys coming together, a Bika gives him one in the coop, and that's fine, that's all right, because it's a contact sport, and Lewis wasn't complaining about that. But just got up and play on. But when I looked at it the next morning, I think Bobby Madden would actually be embarrassed about that.
Aye.
You know what?
I think so.
But
Do you know
that's
what will
what
happen? He'll let Lewis have for something else when he's playing. That's what Madden will do.
but that shouldn't be.
I know that, but that's what they'll do. That's what referees do.
but that's
They see it on telly and they've made a mistake. So the next one they'll go, that's you, that's us even. He'll say to
He's
Lewis,
embarrassed with that.
you know, I know.
So
They should just, what it should be doing, it gets reviewed after the game. If it's not a yellow, it gets rescinded. And
Can't do
that's
it.
it.
That's
Can
it,
review it, you can challenge
He
it,
might
red,
be
you
needing
can't challenge 2
Your
yellows.
Bobby
Change
might
the
be needing
rules.
spank.
You're the man to change the rules.
correct. No, that was
Correct.
disappointing.
Right, lads, that's us. We're on to the coop.
Right.
Boys, I don't
Right,
want
Matthew,
to. I
on you
don't
go.
want to leave. I just want to keep talking to you
Right,
all
I'll
the
do-
stuff.
you want me-
Here,
I'll do-
could we do a Christmas special and I just go through all your careers again?
Aye. no
You
bother.
do what you want.
love
You're the
that,
gaffer.
man.
You're
You're
the
the man.
boss.
Right, who do you want to start? Frank, I'll start with you.
Okay.
The Dons versus Ross County.
Aberdeen.
Aberdeen.
Would do it, yes.
Hamilton versus Hibs.
Hibs. That's a good one, but but I'm going to go with Hibs. They're on form.
Yeah. On my surface, Motherwell versus St Mirren.
Going to take a draw there. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm going to take a draw there.
St Johnstone, Livingston.
Home one. St Johnson.
Dundee United, Rangers.
Rangers.
Killie, Celtic.
I know.
I can't. There you having to think about
I
it,
know,
which is
I know.
amazing.
Celtic.
Frank, a big game, Arbroath versus Alloa.
Massive game. And granted, I'm going to go for a Broth home win.
Hearts versus Queen of the South.
Hearts, because they've got to win the games right up to the cup final to get.
Oh.
I'm going to go with Hearts.
Inverness versus Dundee.
It's a good one, isn't it? I'm going to go with a draw there.
Oh.
Pirate, that's probably identical. What I'm going to. I'll need to
there
take
you
something
go.
different.
Dunfermline versus Morton.
Dunfermline.
And Forfar versus Thistle.
Who cares? I'm going to go with. Do you know, I don't know how good Forfar are doing. How good did they do?
They're on
Excellent.
Asher.
I was at the
Tough
football
as
they're playing's unbelievable.
I'll go with Forfar then. There you are.
Brilliant.
Home win.
Okay, Derek, Aberdeen, Ross County.
See, I was going to plump for a draw. I was, but Aberdeen need to
They need
improve. Aye, Aberdeen to scrape through.
Oh,
Straight
right.
through.
Hamilton, Hibs.
Hibs.
Motherwell, St Mirren.
I'm going to go. I think that looks to be a draw, but I'll change my mind and I'll go with Motherwell. Motherwell needs something.
St Johnstone, Livingston.
St Johnson.
Dundee United, Rangers.
Rangers.
Kilmarnock, Celtic.
Celtic Kilmarnock.
Sorry, Celtic. Goodness me.
Celtic. That's Celtic. I mean,
Aye, it's been different. To that.
Celtic.
Arbroath, Alloa.
Arbroath.
Hearts, Queen of the South.
Hearts.
Inverness, Dundee.
Oh, draw.
Oh, Dunfermline, Morton.
Dunfermline.
Forfar, Thistle.
Thistle.
Oh, we've got different there. That's it.
Jags.
Frank, do you want to ask me?
Yes, you ready? Aberdeen, Ross County.
Aberdeen.
Hamilton, Hibs.
Hibs.
Motherwell, St Mirren. Go on to St Mirren. Motherwell, St Mirren.
Good game that.
I'm going to, do you know what, I'm going to go
draw.
Motherwell because I think St Mirren will be affected with this. It's went on. So I'm going to go Motherwell.
Players are not bothering, as long as they get paid. St Johnstone, Livingston.
Oh, I'm going to go for a draw.
That could be a draw, yeah.
Dundee United v Rangers.
Rangers.
Celtic v Kilmarnock.
Celtic.
Arbroath v Peter the Pointer, Alloa.
I will go for Arbroath.
Hearts v Queen of the South.
Hearts.
Inverness v Dundee. It's a good one, isn't it? That's a good one.
A couple of friends from each team.
Yeah.
Charlie Adam and Dundee. Let's go for a draw.
Oh, that's what I think. Dunfermline, Morton.
Dunfermline.
Forfar v Thistle.
I went forfeit to Scudderm, so I'll go with forfeit.
There you go.
Right.
Don't like the call.
Alright.
Aye. Thanks, guys.
Thanks very much, guys. That will be the last
Cheers.
time I'm hosting.
All the best.
I do.